What is going on, everyone? Anthony Drew Gary here, host of The How To Show, where we talk about optimizing life, money, and happiness one how-to at a time. This week on the show, I want to bring back two different concepts that I have talked about in prior videos, and I want to talk about how you can combine them to get even additional value out of those two separate ideas that are worthwhile on their own. So a handful of videos ago, I talked about how to get the banks to give you free money. And if you want to look at that video in its entirety, I will link to it overhead here. Or maybe it's here. Can't remember. In any event, I'll link to that overhead so that you can check that video out. And the short story to that video is that banks will give you bonuses for opening new accounts and doing whatever their minimum requirements are within a certain number of time. And so when we think about that, if we're going to go through the bank bonus process and get some of those, we are going to be opening new banking accounts. We'll come back to that in a minute. Then about 6 months ago, I also did a video on how to watch TV for substantially less money. And one of the ways that I talked about doing that was to take your subscription services, your Netflix, your Hulu, your Amazon Prime, any of those types of services that you could have all at the same time. ESPN Plus is another one of those examples. All of those video streaming services that you could all have at the same time and be paying for all of them one by one, you could take them and instead pay for Netflix this month, Hulu the following month, ESPN Plus the month after that, HBO Max the following month, Showtime, on and on and on. And instead of paying them all at one time, you can pay them all individually. If you want to check that video out, I will link to it overhead here. Or was it here? Still don't remember, but that's okay. So let's take those two concepts and bring them together. When you go to sign up for one of those streaming services, usually they will give you a 1-month trial. And the way they track these 1-month trials is by the payment information that you supply to them. So if you use your debit card, you're going to get a month of Netflix for free. And you may have to have a unique email address for this. So there's something interesting here that you can start to stack these on top of one another. And what I mean by that is that if you follow the banking bonus video and you do some of those, you are going to get new checking accounts, which means you are going to get new debit cards. And so if you've got new debit cards coming in, and you've got the ability to create a free email address whenever you want, there are several providers on the web that'll do that for you. Gmail is probably the most popular now, but you can use some of the old school ones too. It's okay to be an AOL.com user as long as you're above the age 50 or something like that. And hopefully I get a little bit of hate mail in the comments for this, because that's just good, clean fun. But anyway, if you have an endless supply of email addresses and you have an influx of new debit cards coming in for the new banking bonus bank accounts that you're making, you can hypothetically get yourself 1-month trial periods of Netflix, of Hulu, of ESPN Plus, of HBO, of all of these different streaming providers. For as many times you can get them is equal to the number of debit cards you have, really, because you can always get new email addresses. So it's not out of the question if while you're making a decent amount of money by opening up these checking accounts or opening up these savings accounts and playing the bank bonus game, you can start to stack that on top of the fact that you could get your TV entertainment paid for as well by not paying anything for it and just signing up for the free trials and canceling them when the time is done. Now, I understand that this video has some moral compass issues as to whether you should be doing that or not. And so if this video is not for you, I totally understand that. That is okay. But if this video is for you, there's probably going to be some headaches involved with keeping track of all this. And so I would recommend getting yourself either a notebook or a sheet of paper or an Excel file just to remember when you're starting and stopping these. Or if you want to get real 21st century about it, there is an app on both the Apple Store and the Android Marketplace that is called Todoist. That's Todoist. And that's an app that makes you reminders that you set up ahead of time. And so let's say that, today is whatever day it is. If you go into Todoist and you say 30 days from now, I need to cancel my free trial on Netflix. That's something that you can do, and Todoist will send you a push notification when it's time to do that. And so you can use your free trial until the expiration is over, and then you can cancel that one, and then you can, if you need to, go and do it again the next month with a new debit card, because you've got those coming in because you're hitting those bank bonuses. So this is taking two concepts that I've talked about in the past and bringing them together to get additional value. This is something that I like to think about in the aggregate of marginal gains. You can take small steps to get bigger things out of them by stacking different skills that you have on top of one another. That is going to bring this episode of the show to a close. Hopefully there were some actionable tips in there that you could take away if you feel comfortable with them. And if you don't, that's fine too. I understand that this was an episode that has a teeter-totter effect on the moral compass, but if there's not something to take away directly from this video, maybe it's just a way of thinking as to what would it look like to try to make life 1% better each week, each month, whatever the time period is. Just a way to improve your lifestyle in such a way that you can either get more out of life, get more out of your funds, or just to be happier in general. And so if you were able to take something away from this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Let other people know that this is a video worth watching. And if you've got some feedback for this video, I know this one's controversial, so leave me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'll read and respond to all of those. And if this is a video that you want to see more of, hit the subscribe button. You can see more of the channel. New video content is still coming out every Wednesday, so look forward to next week's video. Until then, this is Anthony Drew Gary, host of The How To Show, signing off.